Health was funding the WIP, and EcoHealth was being funded by 10 different government agencies to the tune of $122 million over about 18 years preceding the release of COVID. And for sure, we found duplication, double billing from the EcoHealth system, the EcoHealth nonprofit organization, that they were getting funds from both the NIH as well as USAID to the tunes of tens of millions of dollars to fund the same scientists doing the same research, scientists that were also working for the Chinese Communist Party.
I mean, this is getting worse by the minute. First, we find out that the COVID-19 likely emerged from the Wuhan lab. Then we find out a massive cover-up that the Chinese Communist Party put in place so that we could not investigate the Wuhan lab. We could not find out the origins of COVID-19, which killed 7 million people across the world. And now we find out that the NIH was double billed, and we were paying double for this gain of function research?
That's right, Maria, and that's why we need to stop all gain-of-function research right now. We need to stop all funding to EcoHealth right now. We're still funding EcoHealth. But, Maria, what our research has shown is that there's a preponderance of evidence that would show that this virus originated in Wuhan, China. You start with smoking gun number one is the geographical location. What are the chances of a virus starting next to one of the 3 labs that's doing research on it that's located thousands of miles away from where the virus started? China's had 3 years to find some type of an intermediate species, which was easily shown in 6 months with MERS and SARS. In addition to that, there's a perfect protein spike on this virus that has the furin cleavage site that's not found in nature. They bury all the evidence. They destroy all the DNA, which is an admission of guilt as well. If we could get in front of a jury, I think that we could prove that there is a preponderance of evidence that shows that this virus started in Wuhan, China, and yes, it was funded via EcoHealth, which was funded via the U.S. government. A sad day for America.
It's a very sad day. This is a joke on America, and the CCP continues its dominance. I mean, first of all, why did you hire the private investigator?
Right. So certainly we've been following this since day one. I was the first member in the Congress to speak on this in early January 2020. When she was getting close to the investigation on the House side, she was working for the Inspector General, following the Energy and Commerce Committee over there, following the situation really close. She was getting very close to this real story here, and the Office of the Inspector General said, we're going to send you somewhere else. So she sought me out. We had a meeting. She's now full-time on our staff, doing a great job drilling in this. We have many more stories we're going to be breaking, but we want to make sure we have proof. I'm not going to say anything that I can't back up factually, that I couldn't show you in a court of law, that I couldn't show you our references.
But this is just incredible what this administration is allowing the Chinese Communist Party to get away with. By the way, there's also an element to the Silicon Valley Bank failure that is Chinese. The Silicon Valley Bank's 50-50 joint venture with the Shanghai Pudong Development Bank, that's $3 billion in assets. SVB was a favorite bank of a lot of Chinese high-tech startups, venture capital firms, particularly biotech companies. Is there a direct or indirect government taxpayer bailout of Chinese companies right now?
Well, Maria, that's exactly the question we were asking yesterday, a group of senators on a phone call with the FDIC. Look, we don't think it's fair that community banks in Kansas or across America are bailing out billionaires from California, from Wall Street, and certainly not bailing out Chinese depositors in a bank in California. So that's what we need to know. There's nothing fair about it. I think that there's gross mismanagement there at that bank. This has nothing to do with the regulatory environment. We don't need more regulations. You can't fix stupid and an aggressive, out-of-control board, and that's exactly what they had there. They did not manage their risk properly.
So, I mean, the FDIC is putting Silicon Valley Bank up for auction again. They tried to auction it off over the weekend. I don't know what happened. You know, before the markets opened, they stepped in and secured all the deposits. Bank regulators had these emergency measures, as you know. So your thoughts here in terms of what happens next? Do you agree that this was a bailout?
It is absolutely a bailout. That, look, we have, again, community banks across the nation are bailing out depositors in Silicon Valley, California, New York, maybe even perhaps from China. So this is a bailout. They're going to pass that fee on to community banks, every bank in America, and then that'll be eventually passed on to the depositors as well. But you raise a good point. Why couldn't they sell this bank? What was the holdup of doing it? Usually you've been able to do that in past years. So is it an ESG condition? Is it the fact that this White House does not like mergers, doesn't want these deposits going in a bigger bank right now? So just come forth with us. Tell us why no bank wants to buy these assets, because there are some good assets there at the right price.
Well, I'm very surprised that there hasn't been a more aggressive market reaction to the fact that now the FDIC is back at it, trying to auction off this bank. They had to step in with emergency measures when they actually couldn't secure the buyer over the weekend. That's not good. Senator, thanks very much for your work on this. We'll be watching extraordinary breaking news from you that the Wuhan lab double booked the United States. Just incredible. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Maria.